Let's work through an example that uses a while loop. For this particular example, we're going to create the pseudocode for a program that takes a number as user input and it prints all the even numbers between 0 and that number. To begin with, I'm going to declare a variable to hold the user input. I'm also going to create a variable called counter, and this is going to be my loop control variable. In counter, I'm going to keep adjusting it and increasing it until we reach the user input. That way the user input never changes, but I have a variable that I can constantly update until we reach user input. I'm going to initialize it to be 0. Now I'm ready to start my program. I'm going to start by getting the user input. While my user input is less than or equal to counter, I'm going to keep outputting the value in counter. Now I'm ready to begin my loop. I'm going to start with the keyword while, and what I want to do is go from 0 to the user input. And the value 0 is currently in my counter variable. So I'm going to start with while counter is less than or equal to the user input, I want the loop to run. Once counter is greater than user input, that means I've printed out all the even numbers between 0 and the number that the user put in. So at that time I want to exit my loop. While I'm working with while statements, I like to automatically put in my end while so I know where that's going to end, and I don't end up with while statement that's not closed. Now while this loop is running, I want to print out what's in counter. And then I need to adjust counter so that it increases every time we go through. If counter stays the same the whole time, then our loop will never end and we'll have an infinite loop. Counter starts at 0, so in order to get the next even number, I need to add 2 to counter and then store it back into the counter variable. My loop has a new value in it and it will run until counter is greater than user input. So let's test this with some data. Let's say that the user inputs 3. To begin, our number in counter is 0, and now our number in user input is 3. So our program, this condition is true in this case, so our program will output counter, which is 0. We'll go down here and we'll output 0, and then it will come down here. Current value in counter is 0, we're going to add 2 to it, and then we're going to store that number back into counter. So counter is now 2. We're going to go up here, 2 replaces the 0. 2 is less than or equal to 3, so we're going to output what's in counter, which is 2. Counter is now 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. We'll go back up here, we'll check the condition. 4 is not less than 3, so our loop will end and we'll end up out of our program. Let's consider what would happen without our increasing counter statement. Without the statement to increase counter, counter is 0, it comes down through here, it outputs counter, which is 0, and then it loops back through again, counter 0, so it outputs counter. Nothing changes, it goes back through again, counter is still 0. Outputs counter. Well, let's loop through again. You can see there's no way to increase counter or adjust user input for that matter so that the condition will ever be false. This is an example of our infinite loop. So we have to make sure that while we're working with our loops that we have some way to increase the loop control variable so that the loop will eventually become false and we can exit out of it and continue with our code.